know that we're 4 wins away now from what we set out to do in spring training.
We're one step closer right now.
That's why we play this game here for this moment.
You can't take these for granted.
One more. Let's have one more champagne pop.
What's up, and welcome in to Minute Maid Park in advance of Game 1 of the 2019 World Series. Phil Murphy here alongside Mark Donaldson for a special edition of Caps Off. Mark, we made it to the big show and we're dressed for the occasion.
Indeed. Whose idea was this, by the way, to wear suits? I'll tell you whose it was. It's a little nod to the guys back at Channel 5 back in the day, to Johnny and to the rest of the guys, to Josh. Just a little nod to you ahead of a World Series. I know you guys did it in 2007. We're here in 2019. This is a place for the 115th World Series that has an atmosphere without anybody being in here. Look at this. The build-up is all about the stars and the strikes. And what a series we have in store.
We're taking taxi services around town. Everyone's wearing Astros shirts here in Houston. I'm sure it'll be much of the same in D.C. Astros against the Nationals, one team all season we had confidence would be here in Houston.
Well, I did.
You did. They were your preseason pick, but everyone kind of expected them to be in contention. The Nationals got hot late. But the Astros, in getting here, a little bit of history with how they got here. The first time in Major League playoff history, a team had the game tied against them in the top half of an inning and won it with a walk-off in the bottom half. Jose Altuve punching the Astros ticket.
5'6", 100 and something pounds, soaking wet. There's not much to him, but my goodness, technique. And he was the hero with the walk-off on Saturday night. What a day for the Astros.
I didn't give up because we've been in this situation before. We've been winning, they tie the game, we lose, we come back. This is the thing we are. We are working as a team, and we, like I said, we really deserve to be in the World Series because all the effort we put this year.
Unbelievable. I don't even know how to explain it, describe it. That's one of the biggest swings in our organization's history. That's why he's our captain.
Pretty speechless about it, to be honest. I've seen him do some amazing things, and this is one I'll probably tell my grandkids about.
We heard from Jose Altuve in that post-game celebration rip. We didn't hear from the other half of the man with whom he shares the middle infield in Carlos Correa, but these guys do share a lot. They're 1-2 in franchise history in postseason RBI. They also share an ALCS walk-off. Correa did it in Game 2.
Yeah, and it's incredible the way they got here. So this is a phenomenal shot already. Look how calm and composed that he is. This is a city that's been celebrating for days now. And there's many ways to get through in a baseball close season, but also there's a way to do it with a home run to get everybody celebrating. And what a hit that was. It's the technique and it's the tempo. And he's against Aroldis Chapman as well.
Yeah, Aroldis Chapman, one of the greatest playoff pitchers in terms of relief in postseason history. Astros here in the World Series.
Here's a 2-1. And that's driven deep to left center field. See you later! Astros headed back to the World Series!
The Houston Astros have won their second American League pennant in 3 years, bullying opponents with star power.
A no-hitter! Justin Verlander, the third of his career!
Their number 1 and number 2 starters, Justin Verlander and Gerrit Cole,
Strike 3 for Cole,
will finish first and second in the American League Cy Young Award voting. And the number 3 starter is midseason acquisition and future Hall of Famer Zach Greinke.
Welcome to H-Town, Zach Greinke.
The Astros had 6 regulars bat over 290.
See you later!
Jose Altuve again, Michael Brantley, Yuli Gurriel, and Yordan Alvarez.
Kiss that one goodbye!
The 22-year-old slugger who could be a unanimous pick for the American League Rookie of the Year.
A 3-homer game for Yordan Alvarez. Oh my goodness.
Alex Bregman, who will vie with Mike Trout in the MVP voting. And 3-time All-Star George Springer, who had the best offensive performance of his career.
You got to run the gauntlet to get through Houston.
Their offense is just relentless.
Given the staggering talent of the roster, they will be the favorites to win their second World Series in 3 years.
So much talk about how good the Astros pitching is, but their hitting's not too bad either, is it?
Not at all. An absolutely relentless lineup. They're the first team with multiple walk-off homers in one series. So just when you think you have them up against the wall, they come out and dominate. Runs per game, not high, but those bats have pop. They can hit a home run at will. They actually set a World Series record for home runs in a series last time they were here back in 2017. I talked to the MVP of that Fall Classic, George Springer, at the All-Star break about what it'll take for Houston to get back to this stage.
A lot. It takes a lot. It takes understanding that sometimes things just have to go your way. You know, a lot of things have to go right over the course of a season for things to end up the way that everybody wants them. So, you know, kind of understand that sometimes you just have to get a little lucky. That's a big thing. But other than that, just go play your game.
So Houston's been almost wire-to-wire outstanding. The Washington Nationals did not start that great. Through 50 games, they had the same record as the Tigers, who finished 47-114. But since June 1st, Mark, look at these numbers. These teams are 1-1A in all of baseball.
The two best teams in baseball since June the 1st. And what a pickup it's been by the Nationals. 77-38 since the 1st of June. It's rather impressive.
That's what it's all about. That's what I want to do. You know, we want to bring a title back to D.C. I want to be on Broad Street on a freaking boat or whatever, a thing, bus, whatever it is.
Bryce Harper so conditioned as a longtime Washington National to say, bring a title to D.C. there with the Phillies cap in the preseason. Funny how it worked out. The Nationals lose an MVP caliber bat, and now they are in the World Series for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah, the Montreal Expos in 1981 got to the Eastern Championship Finals but didn't get any further. And just the vibe in Washington as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the layoff that they've had since clinching against the Cardinals compared with the Astros, who obviously were still playing on Saturday. Would you rather have the rest or would you rather have the momentum?
If you're asking rhetorically, I'm not going to answer. If you're asking in terms of history, it says the rest actually works against teams. There have been 8 teams before this to have swept an LCS to punch a ticket to the World Series. Those teams are 1-7. The National starters, though, they're going to tell you their arms are just fine, and they've been fantastic through the regular season. They've been the story for Washington. That's why they're here. Mentioned, they're the 7th team in MLB playoff history to never trail in a 4-game sweep. They actually had the highest strikeout rate against the Cardinals of any team ever, 36%. The pitchers was higher, it was 40%.
Yeah, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings and a .64 whip as well. Not bad, huh?
Of course. I mean, I've been in the situation, faced really good pitchers here in the National League over the years. You know, Kershaw, DeGrom, those guys. You just know you got to come out there and you're going to be throwing up zeros, and you know, you got to try to match the intensity from the opponent, from your opponent. And Cole's had a terrific year, so obviously it's going to be one heck of a challenge.
Scherzer, Strasburg, they're not too bad as well themselves on the old pitching of the Capitals, or the Nationals in the Capital. Look at that ERA as well in the NLCS against the Cardinals.
And the opponent's batting average, 130. It's the lowest ever for any team in a best-of-7 Major League Baseball playoff series. Getting the ball in Game 1 for the Nationals, the man from whom we just heard, Max Scherzer. We asked the Nationals before the season what it's like playing with Mad Max.
Best thing about playing with Max Scherzer?
Never a dull moment, man. I mean, he's so intense with everything that he does.
The energy he brings, watching his intensity every single day.
Max Scherzer survives, bases loaded in the 7th inning. He heads to the dugout, pumping his fist.
I don't have to play much defense. He strikes everybody out, so it makes it easy on me.
Man, pretty boring, because he strikes everybody out, so I just stand there. It's like I need to look into the stands.
Struck him out, and he struck out the side. Scherzer has banned a half dozen.
Mad Max was definitely mad in St. Louis today.
He come to the field, if he's pitching, if not, he always right there. He always giving you like push to keep going.
His work ethic and the way he prepares, it's you know, I've never seen anything like it.
There's a reason he's the best in baseball, and I'm glad I'm able to be a part of that.
And what a way to lead off as well with Max Scherzer. Now, we've got thankfully this season it's been great. We've got a lot of people who watch from the UK, a lot of different fan bases as well. We're ended up with two. We've got the Nationals and we also have the Astros. So thanks to the guys at UK Astros and UK Nationals, we asked for a little bit of help for them.
Yeah, we've technologically graduated from postcards being mailed to hosts.
Back in the day,
for this.
Little nod.
We go with tweets. Here are George and Rob about the experience of getting their teams in the World Series.
Back in the World Series, 2 years after winning it, still trying to come back down to earth really after Jose Altuve's walk-off home run in the ALCS against the Yankees. Been a roller coaster ride for us this time around. We had a really stern test against the Rays in the ALDS, managed to come through that in 5 games before going through the Yankees in 6. As for the World Series against the Nationals, I think it's going to be a really tightly balanced affair. I think you're going to see elite starting pitching on both sides. We've got Cole, Verlander and Greinke. They've got Strasburg, they've got Scherzer, they've got Corbin. It could come down to a battle of the bullpens. Who knows? I think it's going to be a great series. We want it to be our time again, and we think it will. Take it back.
Washington Nationals, World Series 2019. Who would have thought it? Terrible start to the season, unbelievable finish. This postseason's been crazy. Absolutely loved every second of it. Brewers in the wildcard game. LA Dodgers in 5 games. And onto the Cards, swept them. Unbelievable series. Absolutely dominant. Now the Astros this week. Can we beat them? Who knows? They're an unbelievable side. Experienced, done it all before. But this team doesn't quit. This team stays in the fight. Let's go Nats.
One of the two is going to be happy. We'll keep the predictions for later as well. But thanks to the guys and everyone at MLB UK for getting in touch with us all season. And then they were 2.
I do have one prediction. George and Rob are going to need some caffeine in the overnight. Not just the stress of this series, but these games tend to go a little longer. So, boys, try and get a nap during the day. But don't go to sleep during this commercial break. Mark and I have a lot left, including a special edition of Step Up to the Dish, as Caps Off at Game 1 of the World Series continues.
Hi, I'm Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros.
A swing and a high fly ball to deep left field. It's over! He hit it out!
I'm Max Scherzer of the Washington Nationals.
Struck him out, and he struck out the side. Scherzer has banned a half dozen.
And you're watching Caps Off.
Here's the kick now on the pitch. Fastball is hit in the air to left center field. Robles going for it. He's under and waiting, and he makes the catch! He makes the catch! Bang! Zoom down the fireworks! A National League championship winning Curly W is in the box! And for the first time since 1933, we'll have a World Series in the nation's capital!
Welcome back to filming of Men in Black 4 for the pennant, or Caps Off, whatever it is. We've spoken a fair bit about the Astros. It's now time to give the Nationals some love. And, well, they've had a fair bit of downtime before traveling to Texas.
6 days off between completing their sweep of St. Louis and Game 1 today. But it's been a much longer wait for them. 51 years of baseball for this franchise, 36 in Montreal, 15 in D.C., but this, the first time they're in the World Series.
For the first time ever, the Nationals headed to the World Series.
To appreciate where the surging Nationals are now, it is important to remember where this started. 7 years ago, the Nationals fulfilled their season-long promise to protect their top pitcher, their golden arm, Steven Strasburg, by shutting him down for the final month of the regular season. They won the National League East, but lost in 5 games to the Cardinals in the Division Series, the first of 3 crushing Game 5 losses from 2012 through 17. Now it has come full circle, or at least it is one step away. And leading the way has been Strasburg, whose 1.10 ERA is the second lowest to Sandy Koufax's 0.95 among pitchers with at least 5 postseason starts. Strasburg, Max Scherzer, Anthony Rendon, and the rest of the Nationals have erased years of October heartache with a stunning season of comebacks. They came back from a 19-31 start to make the playoffs, the third team ever to do that. They came back to win the wild card game. They twice came back to stun the heavily favored Dodgers in the division series, and they swept the Cardinals in the league championship series without trailing in any game, the seventh team in postseason history to do so in a 7-game series. Now they are the first Washington baseball team to make it to the World Series since 1933. Now they have followed the Capitals and the Mystics to the biggest stage, making the nation's capital a city for champions. Now they will try to become the first baseball team in Washington to win the World Series since 1924. And leading the way, among others, will be Strasburg, who has gone from a pitcher who was shut down to a shutdown pitcher in October.
What about this for a statistic? The Nationals are trying to do something that has not been done since the 1914 Braves. Start the season 12 games below 500 and then win the World Series. The last team to do that, by the way, and reach the World Series were the Houston Astros.
Yeah, but 105 years ago and 2 cities ago for the Braves. It's been a while, but the Nationals would say they might be due. So we couldn't come to Houston without a special edition of Step Up to the Dish. Mark, you always complain you're not invited to these. When I do invite you, we go all out.
We've got a year's worth of food here.
We're joined by Jimmy Coatsworth, head chef here at Minute Maid Park. Jimmy, what are these samplings you've brought out for us for Game 1 of the World Series?
Yeah, so we got 3 dishes right here. So we got the walk-off nacho over here.
And I'll start here first.
You wanna bang it out?
Yeah,
so this one,
what's going on?
this is just an amazing item right here. It's fried tortillas. Then we stack and load them up just like Jose Altuve, statue in size, and it's layered with a powerful punch. It's got ranchero beans with hot dogs in there, carnitas, pico de gallo, crema, all the works in there.
Okay, so there's a close-up of this. You changed its name. It wasn't always called the walk-off, was it?
No, it wasn't. We started off at the stacked nacho, just like our lineup. So we want to give Jose a little shout-out, man. So this is the walk-off right here.
Okay, next to that looks rather healthy and low calorie, low fat. What's this one?
This was at the Food Fest, was it not?
This one was at the Food Fest, and shout out to the chefs out there that executed it. Saw the pictures, man. It looked amazing. Actually made me a little jealous on how great y'all made that.
Not recommended to eat with a fork and knife, by the way. I'm just doing that because I'm in a suit today, and we have some show left.
Goodness me. What's in this one?
So this one, we take the Frito chips and we crush them down, and we bread up the Nolan Ryan all beef foot-long dog. We deep fry it.
What a show that is.
Yeah, then we load it up with some cheese, some Texas chili, pico de gallo, mustard, jalapenos.
That's about as clean as I can do that. There are a lot of flavors in here.
Yeah, it's packs a punch, man. You talked about calories. That one goes into a different pocket into the belly, so don't worry about counting those.
Now, this is the pièce de résistance for me. I've got my eye on this one. What is this in the middle here?
So this is a lobster corn dog. So we have we got a local craft beer. It's called a Crawford Box, special to Houston right now and throughout the world. And we make a tempura batter, and we deep fry it right there in front of you. And it's one tail split in half. And that's money.
And I understand this isn't just an individual item. You can actually buy this entire tray here.
You can buy this tray. We put it up there in the suite level for all the suite people because they got to get it too. But this one's really for the general concession fans.
Section 153 here at Minute Maid Park. If you get this one.
There we go. Can I finish it now?
Yeah, please do.
Thank you, Jimmy. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, but thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, Jimmy, go on and serve food now to 40,000 of your closest friends here.
Yeah,
for Game
those
1.
are my friends. We got a little work to do and take care of our staff too. So it'll be a great day here in Houston.
When you have a really good team and you have a lot of teammates that you love, you just want to go out there and get after the ball.
You got to try to match the intensity from the opponent.
He's the guy because he's been here before. His intensity, he is the barometer to that team.
Max Scherzer into a good groove. He is set down 11 in a row.
Gerrit Cole, I just wanted to magnify how special of stuff he has.
There's no mystery here. This guy is a dominant pitcher.
I think he's the best pitcher in baseball right now. To see him do it on the big stage in a playoff game was pretty awesome.
Games 1, 2, and 3 of this series will feature 5 pitchers in total, top 10 in the major leagues in strikeouts for the regular season.
Not
First
bad.
time that's ever happened in any playoff series. Game 1, number 1 on that list, Gerrit Cole, 326 strikeouts on the year. Kyle Peterson joins us with a demo about what makes Cole so special.
Gerrit Cole has always had success at the major league level, but since arriving in Houston, he's made some changes and become one of the game's premier pitchers. With the Astros' help, Cole changed the way he throws his four-seam fastball. In 2017, his last year with the Pirates, the spin rate and carry in his four-seamer were both below major league average. But just 2 years later in Houston, the spin rate on his four-seamer is 4th best in baseball, and it is the 2nd most carry among starting pitchers that threw at least 500 of that pitch. Now with elite carry on the four-seamer, the location of the pitch has dramatically changed. In 2017, less than half of them were at the top of the strike zone. In 2019, 70% of his four-seamers are high fastballs. He's also throwing it harder than he ever has. He's having incredible success with that pitch and has racked up more strikeouts and more swing and misses with a four-seamer than anyone else in all of baseball. Now armed with a lethal four-seam fastball, he's essentially stopped throwing sinkers and started throwing more breaking balls. Watch how the fastball, the curveball, and the slider all come out of the same slot, but do very different things when they get to home plate. From a hitter's perspective, there's just not enough time to make up your mind as to which is coming at you. And it's no wonder why Cole leads all of baseball in total strikeouts and strikeout rate since joining the Astros in 2018, and why he'll be the most prized catch in the 2020 free agent class.
So Gerrit Cole's out here trying to write the stuff of legend. Here are the top 3 pitching performances in World Series history. Captain Jack Morris, 10 shutout innings in a Game 7, 1991, in a 1-0 win over the Braves.
Not bad. But
Not
only,
bad.
Wait a minute, it's the number 3 for a reason. We've still got some that are better. Number 2, Randy Johnson. The tash had been a little bit trimmed for that one 2001 World Series, Yanko. Come on, the Yankees had no chance. Look at this.
A guy who's standing darn near 7 feet tall, throwing absolute gas.
Wow.
3 wins in the series and sharing MVP honors with Curt Schilling. That's number 2. What is number 1? Well, that's a good question. Caps off viewer. It is Mad Bum just 5 years ago.
2 wins and a 5-inning save. You don't see many of them around as well. Just swinging for fresh air. How are you going to hit some of those?
My question for producer Ben, where's Don Larson? 1956? Threw a perfect game?
Apparently it was like £50,000 to try and get the rights to show that.
Well, his issue and his statement was that it's a series performance, not a game performance. I digress. The Nationals have been fantastic in this series, helped out by abysmal hitting from the Cardinals. Astros, not bad pitching staff themselves.
Well, this is the thing, because Gerrit Cole was either going to pitch Game 7, wasn't needed. Now he's going to pitch Game 1. They have faith in him. They have faith in their other starters, but so do the Nationals.
All that's left is a prediction. I'm talking, so I'll start.
You going to go for your Dodgers? Oh, they're out.
I like the Astros in 6. I like George Springer as your MVP. He did it in 2017, hit 5 homers in that series, tying a World Series record. I think he gets 4 this time around. Astros take it.
Why don't I just have the same prediction that I had back in March? Because my team is in the World Series, the Houston Astros. See that little logo there? They're still here. They're facing the Nats. They're
I
going to
almost
win.
changed my prediction to spite you.
Stop it. They're going to win 4-2, and Jose Altuve is going to hit that for a home run. Enjoy.